Hey, what's up YouTube? Houston here. For those of you just finding my YouTube channel, welcome. Please remember to hit that subscribe button and that bell. And for those of you that's been following me and supporting me, salute. And for my favorite patrons, always, double salute. Now, today's video, we're actually going to be talking about the best business credit cards that report to Dun Bradstreet. And here's the thing about it. A lot of people think that they have to have a Paydex score, all of these things in order to get a business credit file, and which is not true. Okay, so one of the things I do want you to understand, to get business credit cards, business funding, you don't need a DUNS number. You don't need net 30s. You don't need a Paydex score. Now, here's the thing about it. If you are like, say, a janitorial or something, but when it comes to say that you're coming for funding. So if you're looking for business credit cards, business lines of credit, business loans, a lot of the traditional lending institutions, they may not even look at a DUNS file. They're not going to even ask you about a DUNS file, okay? Sometimes maybe U.S. Bank or Bank of America, they may ask you if you have a DUNS file. But even if you don't, guess what? They will still give you a business credit card, okay? Now, here's the thing about it. In reference to where Dun Bradstreet may come in play, is if you're trying to get, like, say that you're starting up a restaurant or something that needs supplies. So in reference to different vendors or something like that, or say that you're trying to get a dealing with the SBA or something like that, and you're trying to get a contract, a government contract, then a DUNS number would come into play. But in terms of, like, if you're trying to get Visa, American Express, business lines of credit, business loan, a lot of lenders are not tripping off of Dun Bradstreet. That's their least problem. They're looking at how the business performs and in terms of possibly doing a soft pull on your personal credit. Now, here's the things that I would tell you in order to give you better leverage to getting business funding. All right, I would definitely, and you can have multiple banks for your company. All right, and I would at least have one of these financial institutions. Now, the top four is definitely most important that I would consider, all right? Even like maybe Wells Fargo. Wells Fargo, because they're fairly good and they are FICO 9, and we're going to talk about Wells Fargo as well. Like I said, because of the flexibility. That being said, let's actually look at some of the business credit cards that do report to Dun Bradstreet. Now, you have Corpay. Corpay is a credit card for new startup businesses, existing businesses. Now, the thing about it with Corpay, you have to have at least a 600 credit score, and they pull EXPERIAN FICO 8, all right? But with the exception of that, most people that apply with them that meet those basic criterias, depending on the other limits of your credit cards, you may start out at 1,000, but they actually offer credit limits up to 100,000. All right. Then Capital One. So if you don't get the Corepay card because you don't have a 600 credit score, then you may want to look at the Capital One, because the Capital One card is again, Capital One, a 580 credit score for their Capital One Spark Classic Business Card, okay? And they report to the business credit bureaus, just like Corpay. Now, with Corpay, I think, let's back up right quick. Corpay is EXPERIAN, Dun Bradstreet, and Equifax, right? So with Capital One, you have Dun Bradstreet, Equifax, Small Business Financial Exchange, okay? So that's the reason that you want this card. And here's another reason you may want to start with the Capital One card if you have bad credit. Because they may give you a low limit, okay? And it may be 500. Now, I have seen people that have received this card with a low credit score, and they gave them 3,000. So it all depends on what's going on with your bank account. But if you're going after Capital One, if you're not having a checking account with them, Citibank would be on my top tier, as well as Chase and American Express. So those would probably be my top tier banks to make sure that you actually have activity. Now, here's a secret that most people don't tell you about when it comes to business funding. The bigger the deposits is, and I would say weekly deposits, the more activity, the better it is for your business bank rating. I should say that. Okay, so the bigger the deposit, the better the activity for your business bank rating. Okay, excuse me. That being said, again, you're having credit cards that you don't need a Paydex score. You don't need net 30s. You don't need Paydex score, net 30, or a DUNS number. So those are the things you actually don't need in order to get these here business credit cards. Now, here's one thing that I would definitely tell you: to make sure that you have a stable foundation. This is very important, okay? Looking at these here trade lines. These trade lines are mainly for Experian, but you can see that these trade lines also report to Experian as well as Equifax, and some report to Experian, Equifax, Dun Bradstreet, right? And so in order for you to understand your business credit score and what's going on with your business credit file, I would tell you to get NAV. And I'll put the link in the description for you to get NAV to pull your business credit score. But you don't need a whole lot of net 30s. That's the point that I'm making. If you just had at least 4 to 5 of these here net 30s, that's all you need. And making sure you're doing weekly deposits into your business bank account. That's how you build up your business credit the fastest. You don't have to go through this tier 1, tier 2, where you're investing in a whole lot of net 30s. It's not necessary. One of the bigger things and the fastest shortcut, I would say, in terms of business credit funding is actually just working on your personal credit. Working on your personal credit. And now that you know that you actually can get business credit cards with a 580, no DUNS number, no Paydex score, no net 30s, this is why and how you build business credit the proper way. Okay? That way it doesn't take you 12 months, 2 years in order for you to get your first credit card. It's not necessary. All right? I'm just telling you this because I know there's a lot of people out there that may be brand new to building up business credit, trying to get business funding and stuff, and they just do not know, or they are not aware of that. That being said, here's another one with DIVVY, okay? DIVVY, they have a prepaid program that reports to Dun Bradstreet, Small Business Financial Exchange. Let me step back right quick. Small Business Financial Exchange has the information. Then Dun Bradstreet picks the information up from Small Business Financial Exchange, okay? So when people may apply for the DIVVY and they don't get approved, they'll say, well, I don't want to deal with them. But they're making a mistake, and the reason they're making a mistake because they can get in their credit builder program and they can still get reported to the business credit bureaus. This is how you build up a strong business credit file, especially if you're a person that's trying to go after 6 figures or more. And you're trying to go after 6 figures or more. That foundation is so important. A lot of people think it takes a long time. It doesn't. Just following the videos, I put out so many videos trying to help you guys. And if this video is helping you, hey, there's a thanks button down there. Click the thanks. Show me some love. I want you to share this because, again, if more of our community was aware that there's a better way to build business credit, a faster way to build business credit, I think that most of us would have more success, especially when it comes to funding. All right? Then I just made a video about this here company called NEARSIDE Business Loans. okay? And so after 3 months of deposits with them, so I would have a major bank that I'm making weekly deposits. Then I would have a bank like NEARSIDE because they have a $10,000 loan. And the good thing about it, look at what it does. No Paydex score, no DUNS number. You don't even have to have a social security number to get the loan, okay? The only time you would need a social security number if you're not using your EIN number to be able to open up the account. But you don't need a Paydex score or DUNS number, and they are offering up to $10,000 after 90 days of opening up an account. So that's the reason that I'm telling you guys is that following the formula that I have put together and I'm showing you, and as I roll in more data points with more lenders, showing it's much easier to get funding than many of us think. It's just that all in a matter of setting up the foundation. If you have questions about business credit or personal credit, then click the link in the description. Now, let's talk about Wells Fargo. Now, this is so important. A lot of people, they may not like Wells Fargo secured card, but Wells Fargo business secured card reports to Small Business Financial Exchange. They do not report to Dun Bradstreet, okay? Dun Bradstreet will pick that information up for your file, but they do not report to Dun Bradstreet. Now, why would I have the Wells Fargo secured business card when I'm building business credit? Because you're starting to build an internal relationship. So the more you're actually using this card, the more you're paying it back. Even if you're putting $500 on and using that $500 or whatever, the more activity you have, it's still being reported to the Business Credit Bureau. And so that's what you want in order to help build a strong business credit file. And these cards, again, some of them don't report to Dun & Bradstreet directly. Dun & Bradstreet will still pick up the information, all right? Now, if you have questions, again, about business credit funding, personal credit funding, click the link in the description and schedule a one-on-one consultation. Thank you.